poets here, four of your favorites. We have Regina in the house. We have Chris in the house. We have David in the house. And we have my mom, Denise, in the house. So welcome, everybody.
Hey. Hello, everyone.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
You're welcome.
Hi,
good evening, everyone.
Everybody.
Yes, so great to have you back, David, of course. You're always with us, but, I tried to give you a little break asking, and we're always happy to have you on the show.
A pleasure to be here.
Yes, thank you so much. Awesome. All right, so do you want to just jump on in, whoever is really ready, willing, and able, and just wants to go ahead and get us started tonight? Who is that going to be tonight?
I'm ready.
Okay. I think you stay ready, Queen.
Because you know what? The little talk we were having before we came on the air, the first one is a little bit comical, but it's serious. Now I know us oldsters can get to it, and whatever. See, some of us wasn't born with cell phones. We remember when a phone was something that was in the wall at home, and it was nice to get away from it. It was nice.
Yeah.
So anyway, in 2019, in frustration with the fact that everybody had access to me, 2019 was when my job bought me a cell phone. And people say, "Ooh, girl, you so lucky your job paid for you." No. That means they expect me to work all the time.
Exactly.
No.
And I wrote, "The phone belongs at home, alone, not tethered to me while I roam. Put that phone back in the wall. I'll call you from home if I want to answer when you call. Few call to say how you do. They call to ask, would you, could you? Never, I got something for you. Oh no, but can you, Regina, do what I want you to? The phone ain't even my friend. Leave that bitch at home. Gonna cancel my cell, send it to hell. Landline alone would do me well. I don't want no computer in my hand. That just means I can work all the time."
That was excellent.
It is excellent. I'm gonna make me a poster of that, please.
Okay, right. Put it on a t-shirt, right?
Please don't do that.
And we all feel, many of us feel that way sometimes.
Yeah.
I feel that way all the time because my first phone came from my man. He said I needed a phone in case I drove into a ditch. And I said I was a much better driver than that. That wasn't going to happen. And I said to him, I don't want to be on call 24/7. Like you or anybody can just reach me anytime I'm in the grocery store. Hey, what's up? Nothing. Get off my phone. And I'm not one of those people with my phone in my pocket. My phone has never seen my pocket. Let me put it to you like that.
Oh, people, I tried to call you like, yeah, I was upstairs and the phone was downstairs.
Yeah, I'm
and
in
I
my
knew that.
in the car.
I knew that. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm better now.
My grandchildren will come running to me. Your phone is ringing. I'm like, and?
Whatever. Leave a message.
Yeah, it's definitely.
Yeah, phones are hateful. I really hate things.
I don't know what it's like to be an adult and leave my home and not have a phone. I've never had that before in my life. I do remember phones in the wall, but I was a kid. And by the time I was an adult, we had cell phones. So I don't know what it's like to leave and not be able to be contacted.
I have to admit that I'm more tied to it now than I was. But believe me, I had gotten my car many times and go, oh, I forgot my phone. Oh, well.
Oh, well. Yeah. Yeah, people get an emergency. They got to run home and get the phone. No, I don't.
Yeah, I'm not doing it.
I'm not. Nope.
Okay, well, don't try to reach out to Regina or Denise, everybody. You heard it here first on Primally Poetic. They left their phones at home and they're not coming back.
That's right. Or it's in the car and I'm up here. No, gonna get it.
Let's see.
Having been locked out of my laptop, I'm working by phone tonight. So what can I do?
See? You see that? Phones are very necessary. Thank you, David. I knew it was a little different there. See, we need phones. Dev said, true, I hate cell phones. But see, Sister Girl is saying that, but she always has her phone so she could be Primal's biggest fan. So I don't know how much you hate phones, Debs. We got to revisit that.
She likes Primal better. That's all.
I'm sorry?
She likes Primal better. So
yeah, but that's the way she accesses Primal, like you all should, on your phone. We have the app for the Apple and Android.
I don't want no more apps.
Oh, okay. You know what?
Yep.
Never mind.
Let me
So
just
she doesn't
go on.
like anything that has to do with a screen or anybody asking her about her privacy. Let's see. Deb says it's easier to WhatsApp my kids in their room than to knock.
That's a shame. That's a shame.
You gotta go, hey!
That really
Get
is a
it!
shame.
Let me teach you how to yell.
Oh. Deb says she also leaves hers in her bag most times. So one day we should all write a poem about a phone. We'll do that next month. Okay, we're all gonna write a poem about a phone. All right. Regina, can you read your next piece? Thank you.
Yes. This one is more serious. Hey, okay. I wander in the desert like an Israelite in Egypt, like a post-proclamation slave, a native on the endless trail of tears, leading nowhere, abandoned and exiled, expelled from my home. My people no longer recognize me as their own. I am the she-freak who thinks the unthinkable, speaks the unspeakable, tells the secrets. This mouth can't help but shout what I've been cautioned to never say. I act against all structure and tradition, indeed, compelled by what my spirit says is true, by my understanding of love and justice, lonely, alone, unloved, no welcome table, no room at the stable. The desert is dry. I am sated by mirages here and there. I pretend these shackles are jewelry and swim in the tears along this trail, imagining myself at the beach. Living in my mind, I can only tolerate what I imagine. I turn off the news and sitcoms. I close the book. No place in this world. I must crawl back into the cradle of my creator. Rock of my soul, hold me to your bosom. Rock me into a long, eternal, deep sleep. Wake me for the metamorphosis of this world. When and where I'm not so odd. Where love is more important than difference. Where everyone knows we're related. Where weapons and war are archaic, absurd concept. Wake me when the lion lays down with the lamb. Rock of my soul, bosom of Abraham, rock of my soul.
Wow. That was so beautiful. The lions and the lambs come together. So many different sentences stuck out, that it was just a beautiful piece of work. It's just, that utopian society that I would dream of and imagine, and where everybody was born with the same opportunities and had the same amount of love and the same amount of potential to be who they really are inside, and not indoctrinated by race and this and greed and,
I'm just sick of this world.
Oh, I am too. I'm going to read my sickness. I like love is more important than difference.
Yes. Yeah, I love that sentence too.
And also it's haunting. I pretend these shackles are jewelry. Wow.
Yes, that sentence stood out for me. I pretend these shackles are jewelry. It says a whole lot about hope, ambition, resilience, not giving up.
Absolutely. And it also reminds me of the mask that grins and lies too. That Dunbar, was that it? Or was it?
Paul Laurence Dunbar, yeah.
Yes. Yeah, that's one of my favorite poems. Yeah.
Yeah. We are masters of pretending everything is okay. And
yes.
sometimes it's a good mechanism though to survive. And
it's a survival mechanism, exactly.
Yeah. Wow, that was a great piece. Thank you, Regina.
You're welcome.
As always. See what's happening in the chat. They love the first poem about the phone, by the way. I meant to add that. Riri says, powerful, Regina. Love both poems. Yes, indeed. And as more comments might come in, I'm going to refresh. I'll read them to you after. Great work. Thank you so much. All right. Who would like to go next?
I would like to go next, get this angry piece off my chest.
Okay, sure. You're gonna make us all angry tonight?
Yep.
I'm sure. Infect us with that poetry. That's what it is.
It's called Keep the Damn Mule.
Keep the mule? Oh, wow.
There once was a woman, a crotchety old Bajan woman, who loved a certain Bajan American woman for taking care of her son in her unhealthy, overbearing, chastising absence. That is, until it struck her in the face like heaven's gate that the Bajan American woman was no longer of childbearing age. So she helped her son cheat with some chick of childbearing age, but that is a story for another day. The takeaway from that story is I was sick to death of that old woman. Similarly, I am sick to death of white people. I wanted to ease into this rant because some of my good friends are white. I've allowed that because when we were growing up in the Mississippi of the North, Boston, Massachusetts, there's good and bad in every race, Daddy would remind us now and again, probably when I was about 10, walking City Point Beach laden with blankets and coolers and a thermos and our white people's lotion, because what else was there, and our bathing caps minding our own business when some scary white man yelled, "Here come the niggers." And I could feel my daddy's rage rolling off his back mixed with the regret that he couldn't rip some honkies a new one right now and put his wife and kids in peril. Or maybe it was the time that Sister Padua of the Holy Cross Cathedral Grammar School called my friend a nigger. Could have been the time when Daddy magically appeared from out of nowhere in the front of my high school classroom without even an escort from the front office, with a fistful of crumpled test papers, lowest grade 89, and a report card that recorded a C in civics. 5'6" standing over Mr. Sullivan, who's seated at his desk and every bit of 6'2", found that the low rumble that the whole class could feel that was my father's voice prevented him from standing, so the only thing he could shakily do was to change that grade from C to an A, while praying to his blonde-haired, blue-eyed God and patron saint that my father wouldn't stomp him where he sat, because that's exactly what he knew he deserved. No. I think it was when City Councilwoman Louise Day Hicks, I always thought of her as poor white trash, but yeah, Hicks works. Louise Day Hicks leading the mob that stoned the school buses that held our babies, because some fool had the dim-witted idea that our children needed to absorb knowledge sitting next to hateful white children in their lily white ghetto schools that were in worse condition than ours because they mistakenly thought that white privilege protected them from the 1%. I guess back then, it could have been my people dying in the streets, peacefully asking instead of demanding the right to vote, because we built your economy and your families and your roads and your buildings and fought your wars where you didn't belong, propagating your propaganda like your miserable missionaries dismissing deities older than yours. We never got a dime. Lynching is not even a federal crime, and 2022 is the start date, and we are still in debate as to whether or not we rate the right to vote. Some of my good friends are white, but I am sick to death of white people.
So get it. Everybody so gets it. We wish we didn't.
So do the good white people. They get it.
Yeah, no, they do. They do. You know, for me, it's like sick to death of white supremacy, but I get it.
Mm-hmm.
But that is it.
Propagated by white people and some people who look like me. Okay? I was telling to Denise, I won't mention names. I said, but he on the white wagon. He brown as me, but he on the white wagon.
There's quite a few of them on the white wagon.
Just
here.
run them out of town, okay?
No doubt. But overall, I'm just sick to death of white people. I am. Every time I hear the news, every time I go to another meeting, I'm just done. I'm done.
It's, you know, it's funny. We're both done. It's got to have something to do with age because we've just been doing this too long. But like right now, you're angry and I'm depressed. I'm like, just let me crawl into the lap of my creator and go to sleep. Just drug me.
I heard
don't
you
even
say
wanna
that,
be
and I'm
awake.
trying to hear that. I'm
Wake
not
me
trying to
when
hear
it's
it.
over. You know? Yeah.
So
Yeah.
2 women around the same age that have just been tired of what they've had to go through and watch their parents go through in this country.
Oh yeah.
Exactly. And here we are again, and still, I'm the.
Powerful
Why
line
is it a
there.
conversation about the right to have a safe, equitable vote? Why is that still a conversation?
Yeah.
You know, why isn't lynching a federal crime yet? What?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
I'm tired. I'm tired of them. I'm just tired.
Uh-huh.
And I can't imagine you having to see Pop, you know, not be able to stand up the way he wanted to keep you guys safe. What men have to go through.
It was one of the hardest things to see in my life. And I was only about 10 years old, but I knew I could feel. I think that was the first time that I understood not being able to see auras, but feeling them, because I felt that. I knew I could feel it come rolling off of his back because I was behind him. Of course, he was, leading the way. And I knew that he wanted to just kill somebody. But he looked at us and said, well, I can't do that because I got my family with me.
Right. Great choice. I wouldn't be here right now. Thanks.
Yeah, I've seen my Uncle Bubby, my beloved Uncle Bubby, do the same thing, in Kentucky, just like put his head down, take deep breaths, and not say nothing.
Yeah. And, I wasn't really raised to keep my mouth shut. I was raised like, Leslie used to say that my mouth was going to get him killed. That's kind of how I'm raised. And so I've been trying to, as a Buddhist, trying to live a Buddha-like life. And I've been successful in doing that. But, the last couple of days and what was going on here in my town just got me down. And I just had to release that. So
I got to send you a link. I've been doing this 40-day meditation thing with this sister. She's originally from the Caribbean, named Mariama. Anyway, Larissa's on there too, and folks from different parts of the world. She's doing this 40-day Buddhist-centered meditation thing that has really been helpful.
Excellent.
It's no charge. I will send you the link.
Look that up, viewers. If you have the link, I can put it in the chat.
Yeah.
One more thing before we move on. I like how you highlighted the missionaries, because oftentimes, we expand sometimes, the poetry helps us expand into real life situations as we are. And the missionaries didn't have a damn bit of sense or any reason to go to Africa but to infect and rape, and like you said, make those, what did you say about the deities?
Take them away from us, basically to say that those deities had no relevance.
No relevance.
Because of their Christ.
Absolutely. Right, absolutely.
That was not our Christ. It was never our Christ. That's the sad part about it,
Right. So the Peace Corps was not really peaceful. Of course, there were people that were in the Peace Corps that
thought
that, yes, that they had the right heart and they did want to promote change and affect change, but it was a terrible I don't know if it still exists, but
it does.
It does. Okay. Well, maybe it's better. I don't know. I doubt it.
It's not.
Shakira says, yes, set the world on fire, mama. And Riri says, preach, snap, snap. And Nazalim, hi, says, unleash the flame in our souls. Oh, yes, they did that. Absolutely, they did. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, Mom, did you have one more?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
What is it? This is called Wide Open. Bayesian nose so wide open, overdosing on oxygen, clearing and cleansing leftover clutter from former occupants, stubbornly occupying the space in my head. Arms so wide open, the wind beneath them threatens to fly me south for the winter without my consent. Legs wide open, willing to wrap themselves around you with wild abandon, willfully ignoring all the warning signs of dashed dreams and disappointment, drifting me slowly back down to earth, just flying blindly, eyes wide shut.
I love your delivery.
Yes. Beautiful delivery. Beautiful poem anyway, but just I love the way you said it. Just your heart was exposed, very vulnerable. I love that. You could feel the vulnerability.
It's not easy for me to be vulnerable.
Well, I was thinking about that. It's as Black people, I know as Black women, we're not supposed to be scared. We're allowed to be mad. We're not allowed to be scared and vulnerable.
Yes, we have to be strong, and being strong means you can't.
And you know, nobody's mad unless they're scared.
Yeah. Well, this is why we put it into our poetry, Mom, and we use it as a creative outlet to embrace that. That's what I
Blood on the page.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
See what's happening in the chat. Thanks for sharing that. Auntie Jan says, wow, nice. Hi, Auntie.
Hi, Auntie.
Hey, Jarvis.
Riri gives you hearts. That was great. Thank you, Mom.
You're welcome, honey.
All right, Mr. Chris, let's see what you have for us this evening. How are you feeling tonight?
I'm good, thank you.
Good, good. Great to see you.
Thank you. Okay, so my first piece I wrote after my father died, and I read it at his memorial service on Wednesday. Okay. It's untitled. My earthly father recently died, and I experienced a gut-wrenching pain that I cannot rightly explain. A vacuousness, an emptiness, and a listlessness, a removing from my body of all its breath. I allowed myself a momentary reprieve, just a moment to grieve. There is so much to be done, and for the family, it definitely will not be fun, but it has to be done. They moved his body from the ward to the morgue, but the funeral home was soon there and took him into their care. Dad had been clear about what he wanted when he departed, and we basically fell in line to carry out his instructions one last time. A wonderful and thoughtful man was he, but was ferocious against indignity. He fought for the little man, always trying to help them achieve a better plan. He walked away from what would have been a materially good life to help, for decades, students through their strife. The same thing with politics, but for himself, he never enjoyed any benefits. My father was ahead of his time. For us left behind, a new normal that we have to accept, each in our own time. I know that I will grieve, but now is not the time. And deep inside, I know that we will all be fine.
It's a beautiful tribute.
It certainly is. It's very touching, and having sailed on that sea and in that similar boat, having lost my father also, brought back memories. But yes, and also because I knew Louis, I think so fitting a tribute I mean, I mean, obviously as his son, I mean, would be accurate in your depiction of him, and it's a very, very classy depiction of Lewis. Really.
Thank you. Thank you, David.
Could you read the last line, because there was a little bit of a dropout or something, and I didn't hear the last few words, please. The last two lines or something, last stanza.
I know that I will grieve, but now is not the time. And deep inside, I know that we will all be fine.
Thank you. Yes, in time. And I remember thinking, if somebody says in time to me one more time, I'm just gonna lose my mind. But it is what it is.
Yeah,
It's very
people don't
true.
know what to say.
I learned then to never say that.
Mm-hmm.
But
And here was I thinking and saying to myself, you know, that would actually be a nice name for the poem, In Time.
Yeah.
It could. I mean, time
Yes,
does, we
true.
don't like to hear it, but I think time does help heal.
it does.
You know.
No,
It
there's
does,
no
it
other.
does.
Hear it.
Nothing else helps like time, really.
Right.
Very, very true.
Yeah.
I don't remember the
That is
poem,
very
but one of
true.
my favorite lines from whatever poem it is, time is a good friend, he will make us old.
Ah, I like that. Will make us old.
Yeah, that is true.
Yeah. Well, I love the poem, and I had the honor of actually watching the funeral at the day after, and to hear everyone get up and talk about this man. Just to share really quickly, one of the stories that I heard, Christopher and his sisters, well, actually it was one of his sisters saying, was that their dad used to wait outside in the car for them when they were at parties, would wait outside in the car for them to finish at the party. Can you imagine like being loved that much that your dad, usually either your dad says you can't go because I'm not going to be waiting, or, you know, they're just allowed to go and they have a curfew, but he waited outside that party. And just the love in that one sentence, the one sister who said it,
Yeah.
resonated with me so much. And it just made me hurt for all of the, especially girls. Boys need daddies too. We all need daddies, but especially for baby girls who don't have the opportunity to feel loved like that as a child, and therefore become secure women who aren't looking to fill that void with whoever gives them a wink, you know?
Yeah.
It's really moved me. So the poem was beautiful, well done, well received, and just amazing job. Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And let's see what the chat's saying. Always giving us lessons, Chris. Donna's here and says, excellent. And Deb says, awesome, brought back memories of my dad. Riri says, beautiful. Indeed it was. Nazalim says, blessings and praises to you and your father in time, blessings. All right, can you read your next piece when you're ready? Thank you.
This one's called Life. Life is complicated, underrated, brutish, and uncaring. Its lights fully glaring, blaring, rushing, crushing. Its crowds jostling and pushing, selfishly seeking only for a few, not caring about me and you. What do you do? Life is kind. It sees with its heart and not with its mind. It keeps us in tandem, making good time, while yes, sometimes going from the ridiculous to the sublime. But that is fine, as for many, it ensures peace of mind. Balancing the history and future, accepting that it's somewhat like poker, not knowing if you'll be dealt a straight, a flush, or a mediocre. Life is the sea and sun. It can be oh so much fun. Why be glum? Pick your plum. Feel the juices startle your mouth and gum, reminding that there is more to come. And the sun's burn will make you yearn for another turn to learn, to turn down the glaring lights. It doesn't always have to be a fight. To turn to the sea, let it replenish and rejuvenate thee. Life is a mystery. Make it what you want it to be.
Mm.
Wow.
So clean and crisp and precise, and like it's so positive. Like all of the lessons are so palatable, even if they're a little scary, because you have such a positive light shown on these life lessons. That's what I like. Part of what I like.
I like it's like both sides now.
It is.
You know, it gives you both sides of it.
It does. And it talks about the balance that you know, basically you get your deck, you get your cards, and then you play them and, you know, hope for the best. The cards that you're dealt.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, many of these cards we have no control over.
None.
Yeah.
So
That's right.
oftentimes it is how we utilize what has been provided to us.
Totally.
That brings the balance. That's right.
Totally. Yeah.
Yeah. Well said. Well
Thank
said.
you.
Well, that's exactly what your wife said. Excellent. Oh no, I'm sorry. This time she said amen. That was to the other poem. Prevention Man says, nice poem, beautiful structure. I agree. Just your use of rhyming and your senses that are evoked with the way that you speak, you know, something about I can't remember exactly. I'm not going to repeat it because I don't remember exactly how you said it, but I know my senses were awakened when you said it. So just excellent, excellent job. Did you have 3 or 2 tonight?
Well, I could do a third one.
You could. We have the time actually to do a third.
Okay.
Thank you. And Mom, maybe if we have time, perhaps you can read the angry one again, in case some didn't hear. We'll see, because I really like that poem. If you feel like it.
Ready?
Yes. Thank you.
This one is no greed. Oh, want and need, no greed. Oh, how my heart bleeds at my inability indeed. I plead, but will it fill the need? No greed. I put the face in place to take me through the paces. It sometimes helps me get through rough, unknown spaces. No greed. Strong am I? Am I? Oh God, let it not be a lie. On my faith I survive. Oh yes, it keeps me alive. My faith thus grants me the drive, as there is no greed, no guile, no lie. My heart is battered but not broken, sorrow-filled but with words unspoken. No greed. I need to earn another dollar today. Oh, so many bills to pay. Oh, for the day. In faith I live, I pray. No greed.
I love that. Faith.
Beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a prayer.
In a way, yes. That poem is in my book. It was one of them written when my first wife Pam was going through the war with cancer.
Mm.
Wow.
I love the line, on my faith I survive.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Without it.
For me, that is so very true.
It comes across in your work like so transparent. It's right there.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I could say the same thing, really. If it were not for faith, I would not have survived.
Absolutely. Absolutely not. Yeah.
I think for many of us it is so. However, there are many who have not been able to verbalize it or to recognize what it is that keeps them getting up every morning. And when things appear so dark, to keep striving and looking for tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
Christopher, I really like all three poems, and I think there's something about all three of them that just come together. They're not. I mean, yes, they're discrete poems, but there's a central theme to them. You know, life, death, anticipating death, but still faithful, still hoping for the best. I really like them, and I mean, I find them resonating with me very much.
Thank you, brother.
Absolutely. I agree. All right. Well, thank you, Chris, again, for excellent work tonight.
Thank you.
As always, you're welcome. All right. Last but not least, Mr. David, grace us, please, with your heart and mind tonight.
Hi. Okay. Well, as I said earlier, I'm actually having a problem with my laptop, so I'm working with two phones. This one that I'm on, that I'm using now for the meeting, and then the other one I'm using to. Fortunately, I have some of the poems on that phone. So let's see how that goes.
Okay.
This one, this one is entitled "The Cry," and it was written paying homage to Martin Luther King and also Marcus Garvey. Bearing in mind when Marcus Garvey returned to Jamaica, and also when Martin Luther King visited Jamaica, and the speech that he gave there, where he said that he actually felt like a human being while in Jamaica.
Wow.
So,
I didn't know he said that.
Yes. So here we go. The cry. The baby in the street cries. We all be rushing to get another serving of lies. Left, right, marching to the canter of the priest, the bishop, and the pope. And just a few decades ago, they said, run for the rope. Hang a few, control the minds of all. Now just a few chanting, Babylon must fall. No babies in the street crying. Inside the churches, brains be dying. Down on my knees, I'm praying to God. Lift me up, and into my hand place the rod. Let there be miracles across the land. Let it be written in stone, not sand. Babies hungry for knowledge and food. Teachings from church and school. If you disagree, you are deemed rude. Maybe sent to bed without dinner. The master believes he's the winner. Is the human race a race? Do you see my face? Tell me, where is my place? Aren't we all deserving of God's grace? In the streets, pangs of hunger fuel the cries. In our heads and hearts, we hold dear the lies. Where are the writings from our motherland? So many of our treasures in museums in a foreign land. Remember when he visited in the 60s? He had a dream that things would be better, maybe in the 70s, 80s, or 90s. He told us he felt like a human being. But today, athletes, poets, activists still have to be kneeling. Decades before, there was the son of our soil. He fomented the intellectual turmoil. He taught us, know your history, or you won't have roots. It doesn't begin and end with the Garden of Eden's fruits.
Mm.
Wow, that gave me the shivers.
Hey.
So true.
Oh, I know.
Every word so true.
Mm-hmm. You guys always come on here and no one speaks beforehand about what you're going to write. And yet everything, there's so much symmetry and connection.
Yes.
Always.
Isn't it
Always.
always?
Central theme, yes.
Always. And it was so funny, just when I was writing that other poem, I thought of Marcus Garvey. I was like, it's time to go. But then it was like, Africa ain't even Africa no more.
Oh, I know.
Everybody
It's more like China now.
Where we gonna go? Where we gonna go, Marcus?
Not only the Chinese invading, but now the Russians are invading Africa. I mean,
that's after folks got done with it. Yeah, right. Yeah, yeah.
Let it be written in stone, not sand.
Sand. Yeah.
I love that. I saw you react when he said that line.
Yeah. Yeah. Please, please let it be written in stone and not sand. Because you know, everything that both of those men lived for, just blown away like sand through an hourglass. Just, and you know, we're back. You know, turn it over and start all over again. Which is, you know, and I'm just tired of it. And thank God my faith helps me to open my eyes every morning and get up and still do the work.
Yeah.
Still do the work.
Know, it also shows us that a lot of what happened so many decades ago, the fight for those same things continue today. And, you know, David so pointedly makes those connections.
They have to. Yeah, they have to.
Absolutely.
I think that's true for all issues. They have to.
Yes.
We constantly fought.
I like the part where you said, do you see my face? Do you know my place? You know, and it's just, that's what all of us have said at some point or another, whether it was internally or really out loud. I mean, race is the great divider, the social construct meant to divide and conquer us. And that's what's been happening.
It is. I have to say, as well as gender.
Yes.
Sometimes we miss that one. That's big up in our face. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you, David. Appreciate it. Let's see what's happening in the chat. It's a buzz. Jermaine Hard Drive is in the building. What's up, brother?
Hey, Jermaine.
Hey.
He says, yeah, I noticed the Christian themes like David said. Absolutely. He's just giving you a lot of fire emojis, and he said, let it be written in stone. Yes. Donna says, the cry is loud and clear. So much of our treasures are gone. Thank you for saying that. Thank you for saying
Stolen.
that.
Yep.
Yes. Thank you for the reminder, David. So true. She made me think about when my auntie had taken me to Egypt and a long time ago. And I remember Dr. Ben Jockanen, who we were honored to be able to travel with, had told us about all of the relics and all of the inventions that were from Alexandria transported to Greece, Rome, you name it, England. England has a lot of our stuff.
Oh, yes.
You know.
I remember.
Go ahead, David.
No, I was just saying that, yes, just recently, there was a big furor about, some of the treasures that England has. And, and there have been discussions about whether they shouldn't be returned. But of course, they are just steadfast that, that was a different time. And, they are the rightful owners now, no matter how they got it. But
I stole this a long time ago.
Now it's now mine.
My daddy stole it. I didn't steal it, so it's mine.
Well, I mean, that's their
possession is what?
Possession is 9 points of the law.
Thank you.
All right.
See, this is why I'm sick of white people.
The theme of the show.
That's just one more thing, because that was some recently talked about. And I was just going to say that when he read that piece, I thought of you, Naima, because I remember how upset you were about that. Germany is another place. I think you spoke about that specifically, who, just stole our artifacts and put them in their museums as though they were theirs.
Right. And they don't have any meaning to you. They don't have any meaning.
Right. And we have no value to you. So
right.
What's the juxtaposition of that? I mean,
there's a movement going on now in Hartford, Connecticut about things in the Wadsworth Museum. Yeah. And I have to say, I was put onto that by one of the righteous white leaders of that one to give that stuff back to Africa. It's like,
exactly. That's what I'm saying. It's currently in our news.
In our local museums. We ain't got to go to another country or even outside of Connecticut. It's right here.
The Wadsworth, just for you guys who don't know, it is right. It's walking distance from me, and it's the oldest American art museum in the country. The oldest.
The oldest.
So
yes.
I didn't know that.
Public museum.
Public museum.
Plenty stolen stuff in there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Stolen goods.
Yep.
I might not go back now. All right. Let's see. I don't like. Did I read? No. Let's see. Prevention Man says, smooth and crisp piece. I dig the background about MLK as well. Jermaine says, hello to everybody and bless up. Russell says, hello, room. Hi, Russell. Russell was on last week and the week before that, and I'm sure he'll be on again.
Hey, Russell.
Times. Yes. All right. Can we hear your second piece?
Yes. Okay.
Thank you.
This one is called King Street, and it looks at life in the 60s when I was growing up, and contrast with Martin Luther King in the United States. But ironically, King Street, of course, had nothing to do with Martin Luther King. It just happened to be the street that I really, in real life, grew up on, and it's from the English colonial days, King Street, Queen Street, etc.
Yes.
So this is King Street, but well, you have the background to that. Okay, King Street, those peaceful, joyous days. That's where it all began. Toys, then books, kisses, then love. The absence of hate, the absence of fear. Here, surely, it was the best of times. Overseas, a king sought equity in his kingdom. He dreamt of racial equality. He spoke of peace, not war. As we played and later kissed, he marched and marched. He was never too weary. His message was tirelessly just. Along King Street, future teachers, lawyers, doctors, political leaders. Never doubt that you could be what you wanted to be. Indians, Chinese, Africans, Caucasians, all together in harmony. Truly out of many, one people. Overseas, a king saw more than one promised land. One he visited, and he was not an alien. He was a human being. The other seemed a mirage for many, but he knew it beckoned. Many of us too young to grasp the message, to understand the hate. Today, I rally my brothers and sisters. The color of their skin is irrelevant. Rallying against injustice anywhere, violence everywhere. Hand in hand, virtually across the globe. Together we take a stand, descendants of a mighty king.
I needed that.
Me too. Descendants of a mighty king. Your last lines tonight in those poems were like smacks.
Yeah.
Jabs. Well done. Well done. Wow. That's quite the piece. It's just filled with, I almost want to hear it again. It's one of those poems that it's so great. It kind of just like falls through your fingers like water. You can't grab it, quick enough. It was so good.
Yeah, I would use the word holy to describe it.
To use word what?
Holy.
Holy. I thought that's what you said.
Yeah.
and through the eyes of a child. I think that's what's so important, because those best of times, if we're fortunate enough, are in our childhood, when we don't see the hate and the greed and the violence and the, you know, dishonesty and all of those negative things that tear you down as you get older, and they become burdensome on your soul. Yeah. The best of times, yes.
And I still love Jamaica's motto, out of many, one people. I mean, you
Yeah, I do too.
Yes.
I do
I
too.
like that.
I love that motto, and that's the hope we have to hold on to. You know, when we are sick and tired of all this shit.
Just how long am I gonna see it?
Well, you know what? You're supposed to be mad and hate. I think the ideologies and the acts that come out of them, we're supposed to, but that doesn't mean we're not striving to be in unity with righteous people. And you know, and what's hard is then to remember that righteous people as well as evil people, you know, come in all kind of shapes and stuff.
They do.
It's a power system that we're fighting against.
Yes, absolutely.
And that's what I'm saying. The reminder is when, you know, we talk about out of many, one people and stuff like that. It's a power. It's capitalism at its worst that fuels all of this. You know, if you want to understand it, follow the dollar.
That's right. That's
what it comes back. They distract us with race. They distract all of us with race, with gender, with sexuality, and all of that. Bottom line, follow the dollar.
The almighty dollar. Know it.
Yes. Absolutely.
So with David, thank you, because it's a good reminder. I've been struggling to try to get grounded, much less stay grounded. But like I said, that morning meditation is helping me a lot.
Yeah.
As you're dealing with, it's all Black people from different parts of the country and different parts of the world that are doing these Buddhist meditations every morning. You know, yeah.
What's the link? All right, can you just
I send it to you, and what it is, I'll just say this: send the registration link to people. Don't send the link to join, because they'll all come on as me and it gets all messed up. I don't even know how to say that, but if you send the registration link, you get a link sent to you right away.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I'll copy and paste it and put it in the chat room later.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you. So you mean did you text it to me?
I emailed it.
Oh, okay. So yeah, I have to do it later. So let's see. Nazalim going back to the poem, to the first one, and said grave robbers, as far as our artifacts and such winding up on different continents.
Grave robbers.
Chris Townsend is in the chat. Hey, Chris.
Hey, Chris. Missing you.
Hey.
Greetings, Chris.
Hey, Chris.
He says, nice work. Russell says, the color of one's skin is irrelevant. I love that line. Yeah, see me for who I am. So, Mom, it's completely up to you. We have a few minutes. I don't know if you have the energy to read that piece again.
Yeah, I don't. Please, I've got the energy.
Sometimes it can take a lot out of you, you know, well, anybody. So
I need to release it.
Really.
Really.
Thank you for rereading that piece.
Sure, no problem. Oh,
and thank you again.
Keep the damn mule. There once was a woman, a crotchety old Bajan woman, who loved a certain Bajan American woman for taking care of her son in her unhealthy, overbearing, chastising absence. That is until it struck her in the face like heaven's gate that the Bajan American woman was no longer of childbearing age. So she helped her son cheat with some chick of childbearing age, but that is a story for another day. The takeaway from that story is I was sick to death of that old woman. Similarly, I am sick to death of white people. I wanted to ease into this rant because some of my good friends are white. I've allowed that because when we were growing up in the Mississippi of the North, Boston, Massachusetts, there's good and bad in every race, Daddy would remind us now and again. Probably when I was about 10, walking City Point Beach, laden with blankets and coolers and a thermos and our white people's lotion, because what else was there, and our bathing caps, minding our own business when some scary white men yelled, "Here come the niggers." And I could feel my daddy's rage rolling off his back, mixed with the regret that he couldn't rip some honkies a new one right now and put his wife and kids in peril. Or maybe it was the time that Sister Padra of the Holy Cross Cathedral Grammar School called my friend a nigger. Could have been the time when Daddy magically appeared from out of nowhere in the front of my high school classroom without even an escort from the front office, with a fistful of crumpled test papers, lowest grade 89, and the report card that recorded a C in civics. 5'6", standing over Mr. Sullivan, who's seated at his desk, and every bit of 6'2", found that the low rumble that the whole class could feel, that was my father's voice, prevented him from standing. So the only thing he could shakily do was to change that grade from a C to an A, while praying to his blonde-haired, blue-eyed God and patron saints that my father wouldn't stomp him where he sat, because that's exactly what he knew he deserved. No, I think it was City Councilwoman Louise Day Hicks. Hicks. I always thought of her as poor white trash, but yeah, Hicks works. Louise Day Hicks, leading the mob to stone the school buses that held our babies, because some fool had the dim-witted idea that our children needed to absorb knowledge sitting next to hateful white children in their lily white ghetto schools that were in worse condition than ours, because they mistakenly thought that white privilege protected them from the 1%. I guess back then, it could have been my people dying in the streets, peacefully asking instead of demanding the right to vote, because we built your economy and your families and your roads and your buildings and fought your wars where you didn't belong, propagating your propaganda like your miserable missionaries dismissing deities older than yours. Mm-hmm. We never got a dime. Lynching is not a federal crime, and 2022 is the start date, and we are still in debate as to whether or not we rate the right to vote. Some of my good friends are white, but I am sick to death of white people.
Girl, get you a megaphone and go out on the air.
I'm gonna get me a shotgun and shoot everybody I see.
Don't say that. Good night, everyone. Good night. Good night.
Get out of here.
You did not hear that here, okay? I don't need Channel 3 at my door.
Okay, that was from In Living Color.
Oh, I'm so glad it was. You see that? All right. Look that back up from 1996, okay? All right. He did not say that. The world is fine. Thank you, Mom, for rereading that. It was really good. Really, really good.
My pleasure.
Telling.
It is so good. I mean, I just love it. I mean, I'm just actually visualizing this, as like a short story telling me, narrating your life, and snippets of your life. I mean, I listened to it the second time around even more keenly. Mm-hmm. I mean, because especially that part about, teacher, was it the teacher Hicks?
Oh, yes. Councilwoman Hicks. I had forgotten her name, but yeah. Yeah, that story had us trembling in Trenton. I couldn't believe somebody did what?
Trembling in Trenton.
I remember I went down south for the first time in 1971, and a man, an old black man, in the train station. I was waiting for Auntie Riri's family to come pick me up. And he said, what's wrong with you people up there in the north? Letting them white people stone them babies. You know, I couldn't even answer him. Because I wanted to blame it on the lack of warriors, because it was the women who had to go out there and rescue our babies.
Yes.
Where were our warriors? You know?
Oh, I know. Well, my favorite was when I came to Boston to the Women of Color Fundraising Institute, and there were women from all over the world. And where was this woman from? Libya. She said, when the white people come, Christian, why you don't kill them back?
Kill them back. Wow.
See, this is what the sisters wanted to do.
So listen, I'm sorry that I have to cut this conversation short, but it's already 9:30. Can you believe it?
We just pop it into somebody's time. All right, then.
Time flies when you're having fun. So I'm just going to peek at the chat room really quick before we let Rasmanga come in with Nature's Table. Learn how to eat, learn how to feed your body healthily, guys. Shakira says, well done, everyone. I'm fired up now. She said, I'm all fired up now. Uh-oh. Donna says, happy I got the opportunity to hear this beautiful poem. And we're happy to know that you guys were all here again tonight, hearing everybody's work. We appreciate you. Thank you again, David, Chris, Mom, and Regina.
Thank you.
Yes.
All right.
Good to see you.
Take care. Good night.
Thank you.
Monday is erotica. So we're going to be red, we're going to be sexy, and we're going to celebrate erotica. Okay, next Monday. All right, guys. Take care. Good night.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right, peace.